Really appreciate this outstanding turnout. Appreciate the opportunity we have today to take a little different take on our annual Glen Oaks Community College holiday luncheon. Normally it's just our family and internal family. And sometimes some retirees come back. But here recently the board decided that we needed to do something that perhaps was overdue. And that is to recognize former outstanding trustees with emeritus status. To explain that, and many folks know about using that descriptor for retired college faculty. Professor Emeritus is a very common title. Sometimes President Emeritus. I'm not lobbying for that, that's fine. Colleges and universities also take it upon themselves to recognize Board of Trustee members, administrators, staff members, as appropriate. And typically, it's reserved for those individuals who have spent quite a bit of time with the organization, but that is not in and of itself what it takes to earn this title. It takes more than that. It takes dedication, commitment, enthusiastic participation, enlightenment, and many other adjectives. So recently, as Diane and I were looking at the roles of the former trustees and so forth, we started to realize that while the board had a policy to grant retired trustees emeritus status, that we had done that rarely, sporadically, and probably not as often as we should. So we put together a little description of each of these individuals and we took it to the board. And the board acted in November to grant 8 former trustees, each one emeritus status. That would be added to those individuals who had been granted that in the past: Dr. Robert Mowry, Eugene Schmidt, and E. Jane Shaheen. Today, we're here to recognize these 8 individuals. So who are these 8 individuals? Well, 5 are with us, and 3 are deceased, and they have family members here on their behalf. They are Gretchen Dressler, 18 years, Jim Moser, 18 years, Taylor C. Snow, 16 years, Patrick J. Haas, 13 years, Norman H. Haas, 12 years. Posthumously, Barry A. Mumbi, 18 years, David F. Losey, 16 years, and Richard Maurer, 14 years. Just some real quick facts related to their service. Their combined service is 125 years. The range of years is 1965 to 2015, 50 years. We've only been in existence 54. During these 50 years, all 8 Glen Oaks presidents were selected. The original faculty facility was built, and since then 5 additions. Enrollment grew to as high as 1,650. More than 5,000 students have graduated during these 50 years. Thousands of community events were hosted. Specialized training was provided for dozens of employers to thousands of employees. An innumerable number of cultural events were hosted by the college. It is hard to imagine these 50 years, what they would have been like for this region, specifically St. Joseph County, and its citizens, without the work of these 8. Thankfully, we do not have to feel that way because they served. State Representative Aaron Miller, State Senator Kim Lasada, U.S. Representative Fred Upton provided a proclamation of appreciation for each of their service that we will present. In addition, a permanent honor display will be on the north wall of the boardroom. So what I'm going to do with the proclamation is I'm going to read, there's really actually 2. One is overall, and then one is individually. So I'm not intending to read it 8 times, if that's okay. I will read it just once. So it's a special tribute. Whereas the Intermediate School District of St. Joseph County, Michigan, set forth June 14, 1965, for an election to establish a community college. 6,000 voters turned out for the election and approved the establishment of the funding of a community college district for St. Joseph County. Whereas the Board of Trustees for Glen Oaks Community College was formed June 29, 1965. Whereas Norman H. Haas was elected as the first chairman of the board during the first organizational meeting. Whereas Glen Oaks Community College, now in its 54th year as a college, as a result of the continued guidance and outstanding service from members of the Board of Trustees over the years. Whereas the 8 former trustees being honored today have played a major role in improving the lives of others in the community through educational opportunities. Whereas these former trustees have accumulated service of 125 years on the board. They are Gretchen Dressler, Jim Moser, Barry A. Mumbi, David F. Losey, Taylor C. Snow, Richard Maurer, Patrick J. Haas, Norman H. Haas. Whereas we recognize these 8 former trustees and acknowledge their volunteer service along with the service of the 3 current Board of Trustee Emeriti members, Dr. Robert Mowry, Eugene Schmidt, and E.J. Shaheen. Whereas we therefore proclaim our sincere appreciation and gratitude for these former trustees for their guidance, dedication, outstanding board service given to Glen Oaks Community College. Whereas we further call upon the residents of St. Joseph County to join us in this proclamation of appreciation for the outstanding service provided. Aaron Miller, State Representative, 59th District. Kim Lasada, State Senator, 21st District. Fred Upton, Congressman, 6th District. Thank you. Gretchen Dressler of Sturgis served 18 years on the board, 1987 to 2005. She, along with her late husband Raymond, were actively involved in many community organizations and many associated activities and events. The two were also driving force in the development of the Dressler Business Development Auditorium. They're a major contribution. Gretchen, would you come forward? This was to Gretchen. Let it be known that it is with deep appreciation for her time and talents that we gather to thank Gretchen Dressler for her time as a trustee of Glen Oaks Community College. We are pleased to add our voice of thanks to those of the teachers, students, and parents throughout Southwest Michigan. Her work as a trustee for 18 years, Gretchen Dressler has been a part of the challenging work of guiding the next generation with a commitment to higher education. With her heartfelt concern for young people and the realization of the importance of learning in our swiftly changing world, Gretchen Dressler has helped countless students and strengthened our state and its future. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to thank Gretchen Dressler for her commitment to the people of Glen Oaks Community College as a trustee, and we will always hold our gratitude and appreciation in high. Signed by the 3 congressmen.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful to begin, this is 1987, watch how the college has grown, see what's happening, going through from this direction to that direction to whatever. And I'm thrilled that I was able to serve. And it's amazing when somebody says, aren't you going to run again? And then you think, oh, that's 6 years. So it's 6, and it's 12, and then it's 18. But I loved every minute of what I could contribute to making this place what it is. Thank you.
Jim Moser of Sturgis served 18 years on the board, 1997 to 2015, serving as secretary for over 10 years. Moser owned and operated a pool supply business in Sturgis until retirement. He and his late wife, Diane, wrote columns for the Sturgis Journal, and he is the author of From the Middle, From the Hip, and now A Few for You. There are many stories concerning Jim's service on the board, but we will say nothing further today in that regard. Jim, will you come forward? Want to say anything?
I'm never at a loss for words. I enjoyed my time on the board immensely, and the pay was great. It was just, and my wife enjoyed teaching out here. She loved it, and it's wonderful. I thank you all very much.
Barry Mumbi of Colon served on the board for 18 years, 1995 to 2003, including serving as chairperson 1995 to 2003. In addition, he was a founding board member of the United Soybean Board, traveling to 23 foreign countries, representing American farmers and serving as chairman for 2 years. In 1979, with 4 partners, Mumbi launched Menden Seed Growers Corporation and eventually was sole owner. And at the time, he had no idea what the seed corn venture would spur in St. Joseph County and the region, but many thank him for his initiative. Mumbi received MSU's Distinguished Service Award in 2003 and received Michigan's Outstanding Young Farmer in 1979. He was active in the St. Joseph County Farm Bureau and served on the Federal Reserve Board Midwest region. Mumbi passed away in 2017. He is represented today by his spouse, Diana, and his 2 sons. So whoever wants to come forward. Want to say anything?
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone. And this college and the community meant a lot to my husband, and he was very eager to serve. And I would like to think that he made a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Taylor C. Snow of Three Rivers served 13 years on the board, 1991 to 2007. He served as vice chairperson 1997 to 2003 and chairperson 2003 to 2007. In addition, he is only one of 2 board members to also have served on the Glen Oaks Foundation Board, which he did from 2007 and 2017. Taylor retired from the First National Bank of Three Rivers, where he was senior vice president and senior trust officer. Taylor, please come forward.
Thank you. Well, it was an honor to be on the board and the foundation board, and it's so great to see what it's grown into. Jim mentioned the pay was great, but the pay was great. Because when we attended graduation and the diplomas were handed out, to see all those, mostly kids, some a little older than kids, receive their diplomas, and knowing how hard they worked at it, that was our pay. And it made our early morning meetings very worthwhile. And it's an honor, and I'm glad to see the college continue to flourish as it is. Thank you.
David F. Losey of Sturgis served 16 years on the board, 1995 to 2011. Community leader and friend of many. Losey owned and operated David F. Losey CPA in Sturgis. For several years, Losey was an instructor at Glen Oaks and facilitated many business seminars. He's said to have always had time to give to others and local organizations. In addition to Glen Oaks, he volunteered in organizations including the Sturgis Kiwanis Club, Sturgis Chamber of Commerce, and the Sturgis Hospital Board. Losey died in 2013. I'm getting choked up here a little bit. His daughter, Kim Bontrager, the current Board of Trustees treasurer, will accept the recognition on behalf of her father.
You know, my dad told people many, many times that Glen Oaks saved him. He was an adult with 4 kids, a wife, full-time job, no money, and no college degree. And Glen Oaks afforded him the opportunity to rectify that and change what he had. Sorry. I brought him along today with me, too. He'd be very pleased with us today, so thank you.
Richard Maurer of Three Rivers served 14 years on the board, 1983 to 1997. He enlisted in the Army in 1952 and served during the Korean War. He spent 35 years in Johnson Corporation in Three Rivers, where he was Vice President of Sales and Corporate Development when he retired. He is a past exalted ruler of the Three Rivers Elks. He served on the Lions Club and was a lifelong member of St. John's Lutheran Church. Maurer passed away in 1999. His daughter, Mitzi Shoesmith, will receive the recognition, and I believe the granddaughter as well, Stephanie.
I'd like to thank you all for honoring my father this way. I have nothing but fond memories of him talking about the things that he was involved in here and all the wonderful friendships that he made. And I just wish he could be here to see all the great things that have happened with the college, and especially with the new student housing and this beautiful concourse and all the just wonderful things that take place here. So thank you very much.
Patrick J. Haas of Mendon served 13 years, 1999 to 2012, including vice chairperson from 2003 to 2007 and chairperson from 2007 and 2012. He is CEO of TH Plastics in Mendon, where he has worked since 1976. Keeping the tradition of serving Glen Oaks in the family, Patrick is the nephew of Norman Haas, the first board chair and our next recipient. And I will say this, soon upon my arrival here, Pat called up and said he wanted to take me to lunch. And I learned a lot, some things that I needed to know. So would you come forward, Pat, for your recognition?
Well, I'd like to thank the college for this honor. I also would like to thank these people that are way out there. They're the ones that make this work. And, you know, like Taylor, I have to say that in the spring, those graduation nights were magic. And that's what this is all about. Thank you.
Norman H. Haas, originally from Mendon, served 12 years on the board, 1965 to 1997. He was president of Haas Corporation in Mendon. In 1964, Haas was asked to serve as chair of the local Citizens Advisory Council that was formed to investigate the feasibility of a community college for St. Joseph County. The report of the study was positive, followed by a request and favorable reply from the state. An election was held on June the 14th, 1965, where voters endorsed the establishment and funding of a community college. Following the election, Haas was elected the first chairperson of the Board of Trustees. He served as chair until 1977, so for the first 12 years of the college. Those must have been really great, fun times. Haas received the Glen Oaks Fellows Award earlier this year. In the history of Glen Oaks Community College, 1964-1999, written by Professor Emeritus Leland Thornton, he named Haas the father of Glen Oaks. He's being assisted by his family as he comes up this morning.
Well, thank you. Not everybody had a chance to be the first professor, teacher in a new college that just started. Bob Muller put it well. Bob said, Norm, someday we'll look at this as the greatest thing we ever did. Right, Bob? Thousands of students going through this college. But it was a big adventure for me, and this school means a lot to me. And I'm amazed at how much it improved. My God, how did they do all this without me?
What a joyful time we've shared today. We are so appreciative of these individuals, not only for their service to Glen Oaks, but for their vision and dedication to higher education in St. Joseph County and beyond. And I really appreciate the recognition that Patrick gave to the folks that are here with us in the back, faculty and staff, because they do all the work. And they do amazing things every day on behalf of our students, on behalf of this community. Appreciate your time and attention, and I'm sure that you appreciate the service of these 8 individuals. So thank you.